Let's talk about Jay and the police department and what he has done. So go ahead, Jay. The floor is all yours. Tell everybody who you are and where you've been and what you're doing now.
Well, started the police academy in 1985, September, and went to the 22nd immediately after that. Then I went to the 3rd district after 11 years in the 22nd, and went to the 3rd. After that, I went to the narcotic strike force, and then after that, I went to the airport to retire. So basically, I started out learning how to do the job. Second part, I learned how to eat. Third part, I made money, all the narcotics arrests. And the last assignment, I was learning how to relax.
Right. Where was that? Your last assignment?
The airport.
Nice. You relaxed down there?
It wasn't as stressful. You didn't have all the crazy calls like you normally do on on the street.
Yeah.
So
Now,
there was still arrests to be made there, but
right.
mostly retail theft or just not arrests for people that are drunk on planes, just getting them out of there.
So tell me about the district that you started out in. What district was that?
22nd district. It was center of the city, basically. A lot of underprivileged people there. Just a lot of crime. A lot of people not working. They had too much time on their hands, and they had a lot of drugs.
Like, what was the drug of choice?
Crack was big then. Weed. It was always weed, but
really,
yeah, crack was a big player and all that.
Right. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Crack will take you out of here, man. I mean, it's still out here,
Right.
It's still out here, but I don't know. So how many how did you work? Did you work like steady day work? Did you work like 4 to 12, midnight to 8? Like, what was your shift?
We used to have to work all 3 shifts. We'd work midnight to 8 for 6 days, be off for 2. And then we would go to day work and work 6 days there and be off for 2. And then we would work 4 to 12 and then be off for 2. And then back to midnight to 8 again. And a lot of stress on that because, you get used to a shift and then next thing you know, it's time to switch. So it's pretty stressful. And they did studies on it and they got rid of that. And now we just have the steady last out and then the 2 day work and 4 to 12 shifts switch back and forth.
Yeah. What year was it over? It was in the 90s, right?
I think it somewhere around, I don't know, somewhere around beginning of the 90s.
Right. Well, I remember working the 3 shifts, but I'm saying, when did that all end? Because I remember being in patrol that like we worked 2 weeks of day work, 2 weeks of 4 to 12, and then 2 weeks of midnight to 8. And then that slowly came to an end. So like, when did that come to an end? Wasn't it in like the 90s?
Yeah, I think it was the early 90s. The early 90s. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm old.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, brother. What, being in you said you were in the 22nd, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So would you have ended your career out there, or would you have, like you got transferred because you were there for X amount of years and the city transferred people after that, right? Would you have stayed there your whole career, or are you glad that, they transferred everybody out? Like, what happened with all that?
Well, at first I was mad because I knew all the people there. inside the department and on the street. And nobody likes to be yanked out of their surroundings and sent to the other side of the city. But
Right.
I learned to deal with it. It turned out all right.
Right.
I met a lot of nice people in South Philadelphia, so it's
Yeah. Yeah. That's where me and you became partners in the end. Yeah.
yeah, inside the department and outside. So it was good for me. Yeah, they said they did it for to curb corruption, but I didn't see any where I worked anyway.
Right.
It was just people went out and did their jobs and went home at night. And,
Yeah.
I never saw any corruption, but there
Right.
there probably was somewhere, but I didn't see it.
You just saw that you got transferred out from
Yeah,
having.
I hung around with the right people, obviously.
Right. Yeah. What did now? I remember you telling me, was there anything that comes to your mind that you remember that you thought of good or bad or just sad or happy? Do you remember? Was there anything that brings up something to remember that district by an individual, a certain incident? Do you remember?
Well, there was a there was a job where Paul came out for gunshots, and we went to a certain house, and there was a little girl that had been shot right in the forehead, right between the eyes, basically with a shotgun at close range. And come to find that her older brother, who was probably about 10 or 11, she was about 5 or 6, and he had found his uncle's shotgun and pointed it at her, yeah, and killed her. But there are some good stories there too.
Right.
I used to see this girl all the time that was walking the streets at night, and she seemed like a decent person. I'd try to talk to her and everything else. And one day, once I went to the third district, I ran into her down at the cookie shop down in Head House Square, and she was all cleaned up and delivering food,
Yeah.
and I hope what the way I talked to her, I hope maybe it changed her life, which was
Right.
good.
Yeah.
And I had to deliver a baby down here,
You did what?
deliver a baby.
Oh my God. How'd you do that?
Yeah, geez, gotta know how to catch a football. She
Oh my God.
lady came to the door and she said, "I think I'm having a baby." And she lifted up her dress and I could see the head coming out a little bit. I told her to go inside and lay down. I called for rescue and caught the kid, held him there for a minute or two, and I heard the sirens, and I couldn't have been more pleased.
Wow. So you would get calls, like tragic calls. You would get calls to help someone deliver a baby. I mean, you go to work, you don't know what's coming your way. That was exciting, but also you didn't know what was coming, you know?
You never know with radio calls.
No.
You can get a call for a man with a gun, report of a shooting, and it turns out to be somebody just wants somebody out of their house.
Right.
And then sometimes you get a call for a disorderly crowd, and you pull up, and one guy's got a gun. He drops it on the ground.
Wow.
Pull up. I mean, radio calls, all they really do is they direct you to a place where there's something going on.
Right. Or direct you to a place where nothing's happening and there's something happening in another location. So you just, you just don't know. Yeah, I remember me and you, we were partners and we worked the Republican National Convention.
Right.
I remember when you got that, what was that? That got in your face and we had to get rescue and you were like, I'm not leaving, rinse my eyes out and I want to continue with my squad. I mean,
Yeah, it was some kind of muriatic acid or something like that. I never got the official report from the
Yeah.
detective. Uh, I did lose one of my uniform shirts over that because they kept it. And yeah, they took me to the hospital, and I said to the doctor, he said, "We're going to flush your eyes out." Of course, you guys did it on the sidewalk with like 10 gallons of water at a shot. You couldn't even breathe.
Right.
Then I got to the hospital, and they flushed them out again, and they were all red and swollen looking and everything else. But I I got back to the makeshift unit we had, and I told them, I said, I got to get back with my squad. And the corporal there said, "You can't do it. You can't. You're IOD. You can't go nowhere." I'm like, "I'm going." And then she got the lieutenant, and the lieutenant said, "You can't go anywhere. You're IOD." I said, "I'm taking myself off IOD. I'm going back with my squad." And finally, they turned around and said, "Just go." They're
Yeah.
tired of me. But I met up with you guys, and life went on.
Yeah. We met on the art museum steps with that flag we got from those anarchists.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Our squad was really cool. I mean, remember that citywide assist?
right.
Yeah, we were chasing those people. Like, what did they do? They stopped the bus from traveling down
Right.
that street. Remember?
Yeah, try to
We're
pull the
big.
wires
I mean,
off it or something.
were you the oldest in our bike squad, or do you remember?
I don't remember. I might have been.
I don't know. Yeah, you might have been. I know that you were good at balancing on that bike. You think you could still ride that bike today, Jay?
Oh yeah, come on. They say you never. Once you learn how to ride a bike, you never forget.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
That happened in what, 1990
What? No, the RNC was 2000.
and 2000.
Yeah.
All right, so that would have made me what? Jesus, I was 40 years old.
Okay. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Right. So now what are you doing now with your what are you doing? Where are you at? What's getting ready to happen with you? I mean,
now I'm living in
you're
Largo.
working?
I've been working down here for 10 years for a uh, construction supply that's pretty big. We have
Nice.
we have branches in Hawaii and all over. Anyway, yeah,
Hawaii.
yep, pretty neat. And I'm going to retire there in March, or I'm sorry, in May.
Right.
And then I ain't doing nothing other than what I want to do.
And what is it that you want to do? You have anything in mind?
Professional recreational fisherman.
Okay, off the pier, or are you going to be in a boat? Do you have a boat?
Yeah, it'll be off my boat
Nice.
in the Gulf of America.
The Gulf of America, isn't that nice?
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I see you got a dog there. What's your dog's name?
Mojo.
Yeah, how long have you had him?
About 8 years.
Yeah. I'm surprised he's so quiet. Usually when we're on the phone, he's like a barking machine.
Right? Was you a barking machine?
Huh?
I was talking to him. I said, "Was you a barking machine?"
Yeah. So now let's go back to the district you were from, the double deuce, right? That's what they called it.
Right.
26. Was there a lot of domestics out there? Was there a lot of drugs? Do you remember?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Really?
Oh yeah, drugs all over and
Right.
domestics and
Yeah. So there was
young.
endless arrests for that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
young, old. I remember a job we did a narcotics arrest on these people that were on a porch. And it was a whole bunch of older guys. This is when I was a district cop, and the narcotics squad needed, some people to be in the area. And when they told us to come in and grab these guys that were sitting on a porch, they were all like 70, 80 years old. And
Oh
like,
my God.
I didn't know who to grab because like can't be these guys,
Yeah.
But
Was it them?
came across the radio. The one girl said, "It's the guy with the plaid shirt." So I'm like, I'm looking at these guys. I'm like, I'm looking for a young kid, but yep, he
So
was sitting on.
drug dealers out there came in all ages.
Oh yeah, it didn't matter.
Wow.
Money's money. That's how
Right.
they looked at it anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Unbelievable.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, made the guy get up, and there's the bag,
Right.
metal, crack, and weed, and everything else.
What do
Anything you wanted.
What do you think about the way that they police today? I mean, things that we wouldn't. Your time was not tolerated. What do you think about everything that is tolerated?
Stop. Hey, get over it. Good.
What do you think about everything that's tolerated today? I mean, how they police today. What is your take on it?
Well, I live in Florida now, and they do an excellent job. Back in Philly, I don't know what they're doing, and I hear stories, but it's not like it was, especially when I first came on.
Right.
When I first came on, you didn't even. All you had to do is get on the radio and say, "I'm pulling a vehicle over," and you had 5 cop cars there. Less
Right.
but
Yeah, you have backup all the time now.
yeah,
Today, I don't know so much.
yeah. I don't need.
Cards over.
I don't know what's going on there, but I know they're understaffed. But
Yeah. How many years, Jay? How many years?
30.
30 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot to be said.
I loved almost every minute of it.
Right. I understand. I'm right there with you. For the most part, I mean, being a police officer was a great thing. It was just working with certain people. People are the ones that make it hard or make you frustrated. I mean, the people that you work with when you go out and answer the calls, it's a lot easier to work with the citizens than it is with your own people.
Well, I never had that. I got along with pretty much everybody, and people I didn't, I just avoided. Just tolerate them. And there wasn't many.
Right.
So I just
Well,
I did what I had to do.
Yeah, you were lucky.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you had a great career. I'm glad that we had this talk, and hopefully you'll come back one day and give us more stories about Jay and what he's done on the police department.
All right. Sounds good.
Well, listen, enjoy. Retirement is coming up, and you deserve it.
Thanks.
I'll talk to you, my friend.
All right, my dear.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.